Hello, my name is Benjamin Piper, also goes by Golden Bacon. I'm here today with Alex, an extra on the set Shinbangumi on for Ginger. Alex, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, doing all right. I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions of what was it like to work with Ginger.
Sure.
Yeah. So for my first question is, when did you hear about Ginger Root in the first place? What was your first experience?
I think it was a YouTube recommendation actually
Yeah.
for weather. Um, so it was a few years ago, and it was a really the song just struck me as just like, oh, this is just really easy, nice to listen to. So played it a few more times and just like, oh, okay, back in my head.
Awesome. For me personally, I have the craziest story for Ginger Root. So I heard it, Loretta, on
Mhm.
SoundCloud, and then I'm not even kidding. We had tickets to go see Hippocampus that like literally days after. Guess who was the front runner for Hippocampus? Ginger
Yeah,
Root.
yeah.
It's the funniest story ever because my parents were talking downstairs and they were just like, okay, how much time do we have to go see this Hippocampus concert? Oh, it's just this geek nerd dude. I mean, no one's gonna want to hear that. And I just ran downstairs. It's like, when are we going to Hippocampus? And
Yeah.
it just lined up perfectly. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect.
Yeah, I
So,
remember because I remember on that tour he came to my town, and I only went
oh,
because
you might be lagging a little bit.
he was there. And I do like. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
We good? Okay.
They're a little delayed. Not too sure why. Here, just say something.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're all good. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Oh, yeah. So when on that same tour when he came to my town, uh, I I was like, oh, he's playing it on a tour, and so that's when I went out and I went to go see him for Hippocampus, but it was mainly just for Ginger Root, even though Hippocampus is a great band.
I know. They're the best. I saw them all the way back in like 2018 when like actually it was they were still big, but I looked up how many views they had and it was like literally only 300,000 listeners at the time. This was like back when I was still in middle school and stuff, so
Yeah,
great band, amazing. Maybe we can have an interview with them. I don't know.
that'd be cool.
That would be cool. So I know you're heavily involved in the Discord servers. So my question is because I know people have talked about this. We did an interview with Cameron on the Discord server. Does
Yeah.
anybody know what happened to that?
I think it's a little bit of a mystery. I'm not sure exactly. I think a couple people have the interview.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wasn't recording. Otherwise, it
Mhm.
would be good to just have
You
that.
were the
But
host for that, right?
mhm.
Yeah, if my memory serves me correct. Because I was there and I had little clips of it, but I was told to delete it, so respectfully I did,
Yeah,
because of I don't know privacy or something. So I was like okay, and then just no one ever posted the interview, so it's just a lore mystery of Ginger Roots.
yeah. Maybe we'll have him back. I'm not sure. It would be cool to get to interview Cameron again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think there were a lot of like fun questions that were asked. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, someday.
Yeah, stuff like that. I have asked well, I didn't ask them directly, but I of course interviewed David. I'm very close with David. He sends me some memes and stuff. So I just have him pass along that message. But obviously it's a lot more difficult to get to Cameron because he's a lot more popular now than
Hmm.
the Loretta days or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, he's busy, and it's incredible to me the amount of just like he just doesn't stop. I mean he edited the video, his music video on tour. Um, and got it out, which is just like who who could do that, right? So
I definitely couldn't. Oh my gosh. I I I don't know. But I is he has a crazy work ethic. Like the stories of him, he first learned to draw like anime, what, in the back of the van or something, and he was just doing it on a pencil and stuff like that.
yeah, he, he just wanted to pick up a new skill, and then they said that he couldn't. So he doubled down and was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it anyways, which is great. I think
Yeah,
that a lot of people should have that attitude.
yeah. The biggest motivator, spite.
Yeah,
Um, so when
as long
you
as it's
list,
positive.
yeah, of course, of course. But when you listen to Shimbangumi album for the first time ever, because I'm pretty sure I hope you had a sneak peek before everyone else. Um, no?
Nope. No, actually, so on the set, everything was really under wraps, and I heard the first part of No Problems for that scene when we're going down the hallway.
Okay.
But that was it. It was just like a really small snippet, and I was like, "Oh, okay, is that the song?" And I think they're like, "Oh, are you gonna play the song for the crew?" And I was like, and then it just kind of like fizzled out, I guess. But it was
Hmm.
really, it was still just like, oh, that's the album,
Yeah,
and it's all done.
yeah. I was quite curious. I'm like, does the crew know beforehand? Because you're obviously recording, the whole scenes and everything. So I'm like, well, surely he has to show you the song of what you're recording. I guess not.
Yeah, I think it's only. I mean, I think
Oh, you're cutting off again a little bit.
it was a need to know basis kind of thing. It wasn't necessary that I heard it. Oh, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, uh, internet.
yeah.
Okay, let me know.
Okay. You're all good now. All right.
Yeah, so it was a need to know basis thing, and
Hmm.
I think that's fine. Uh, I didn't need to know, and they had everything all storyboarded out, and they were shooting multiple scenes per day on the shoot, so it was just go go go. Wasn't much downtime really.
Yeah. Well, that's good. But so yeah. So this is like one of my favorite questions. What was it like getting tied up in a chair?
This is one of my favorite questions I like to ask my interviewees. What is it like to get tied up in a chair?
Yeah.
Um, that's a good question for an interview. Uh, it was fun. They're like, okay, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be too tight. I was like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah. So it's like they got some rope from Home Depot probably. Um, I think there was like a selection of chairs that they were going to choose from, but we decided on this like really nice old. I think it was the same chair for the other shot that I was in at the control board.
Yes.
So they just kind of wheeled that
Yeah.
over.
It makes
Um,
sense too.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
it was
like
fun.
why change chairs? I mean, you're already there, so why
Right.
would you change it? Makes sense. Yeah. So, I guess for your part at least, you probably know how long did it take to make all those things? Said it was pretty quick.
Yeah. So it was they would do multiple scenes per day on the shoots. So uh, I think they knocked out a couple videos.
Mm.
No, they knocked out a video like maybe 2 or 3 days. But I'm sure you could get a much more accurate answer from like David or
Mhm.
Cameron. But it
Yeah,
seemed like everything was just go go go.
yeah. Were you there basically for multiple days or no?
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
so I went down and I was there for no problems, and then what's the next one? The next one was
Um,
not all night.
well, show 10, obviously, for the
Hmm.
Shimagumi, so all night. Yeah. So you were there for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you live like by where it was shot or anything, or did you have to travel?
I had to travel, so
Okay.
I flew out to it, um,
Mm.
which was fine. But it's just like you get the call and you're like, okay, well, how can I sort of rearrange things so I can do this? It's just like this isn't going to happen. Um, this opportunity doesn't happen to most people, so
No.
I really wanted to. It felt special to me to be able to go.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just special being here. I mean, just like look how far we started. I mean, I don't know, like you were a mod like when the Discord server started. Was it like 12 people maybe? I mean, I know I was like in there really early. Cutting off again.
Yeah, I think it wasn't too many. I was interested to know like what other people would like ginger root, um, and it was just a really good time because we had like art and
Mm.
shared like stories like, oh, I'm going to the concert, um, and so it was a fun time to to do that, and I think that that vibe is still there on the server.
Yeah. For sure. And one thing that was just crazy to even think about is like this wasn't actually the official Discord server like at all. This was just a fan-made Discord server and people just kept flooding in and flooding in. Of course, I put posters in Chicago 2 years ago. That's how I
Hmm.
met David. And then and I basically forced him to recognize it on that stage.
Yeah,
I kind of pressured him into actually joining the Discord server, which he did. And that's when that interview happened. But yeah,
yeah. No, it really sort of just kept growing, which was nice, and I think everyone's still kind of here for the same reason. Um, like obviously, I mean, just good ginger root music. So um, it's nice to see the community sort of stayed the same.
yeah. Well, going back to Shimbangumi, for me personally, when I first reacted to it, it's kind of like in two parts because Cameron never really made an album before. It was always EPs.
Hmm.
So first part came out with Better Than Monday, Only You, No Problems, all that good stuff. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. But man, when that second half hit, like the second Kazi just showed up, I immediately got out of my chair and just like started vibing. I was like, and then you had Giddy Up, and then you
Hmm.
had Show 10, and then even Just Cool, like Stay Cool. I
Hmm.
mean, I talked to Lucia, that was her favorite because it's just that 80s vibe that she remembers.
Yeah, I think he really like absolutely nailed it in that regard. And it reminds me kind of I think Cameron, when Cameron was saying that he was learning Japanese, he immersed himself for 2 years, like, uh, and did nothing else. Like most of the day, he was just consuming media, um, and I think that that probably also helped for the music. Just immersing yourself, depending on like if he was just listening to 80s or maybe partly it was 80s Japanese media, but I'm sure that that played a little role in the development of the album. Though I that's not like official, I don't know, but
Yeah,
it's my
yeah,
feeling.
yeah, exactly. I mean, gosh, every single time I go to a Ginger Root concert, I feel like I have to learn more and more Japanese because he speaks more and more Japanese. I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, I guess I gotta do my part as well. But yeah, going back to questions, how long did you know about your part in Shimbangumi? How was it hard to keep it a secret?
Um, I knew about it, but then I was like, okay, I can't tell anybody.
Mm,
Um, and I didn't know for that long. I think the casting call went out um early this year,
oh,
and
really?
they had started collecting actors and resumes um, probably in like February. Um, I wonder. I think they put out multiple casting calls. One was for Nisei Mono, and then the next year was for Shinban Gumi. But I can't. recall exactly when. And then David reached out and uh, asked if I would be interested um, in joining. And I had met David a few times at different shows, and
Yeah.
we had talked previously, and it was just really nice to feel recognized as a fan and get the opportunity to um, be in the music videos. It was just like something I still can't really wrap my head around, and sort of like see myself in a third person view. You know, but another funny thing was, so they had all these Instagram ads playing,
Okay.
and uh, so when I would scroll through Instagram, I'd see like ads to go to the show,
Hmm.
and I was in the ad, and so it
It's
was
just
just a
like,
sort of like aha moment of like, oh,
yeah,
wait a
surreal.
minute.
Yeah. Actually, ironically, that similar feeling happened to me at that Chicago show where I put up all these crazy posters of our Discord server where they were doing the testimonials at the time, and then of course my face showed up, and I of course did I'm glad I went reference
Hmm.
in the middle of it. So I think that's why David allowed me to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. So for you personally, what was the funniest thing to happen on set?
Oh, the funniest thing to happen on set,
Yeah.
for the entirety of it. Hmm. Oh, there was a moment where I think one of my favorite sequences uh, was the briefcase con, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was just it was just so much fun. I kind of wish that there was more footage of it in in the music video, but it was just so much fun to be on set. Um, and I really do think it was like a brilliant point of just like, oh, it's a briefcase convention, biannual, like happens. Is it twice a year or two every 2 years? Um, so yeah, I think that was a lot of fun. There was a sequence where, and this wasn't like shot, but I took a video of Kevin. There was some good music. There was Impertis, um, that French band. When a song was playing from them, and then I started filming Kevin as he walked in. And I'll share the video with you,
Okay.
but he walked in, he started dancing, and then Matt started dancing with him, and it was just a really fun like moment that I got to capture um, on set.
That's awesome, dude. I love those like little behind the scenes moments and all that extra fun stuff because there is always something going on that not everyone knows about. Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, you kind of touched up on it for this question, but what was the most rewarding part of the experience?
Oh man, just getting to play a small part in it, and like see, I don't know. I didn't have any obviously creative input in it, but just to see myself in it is still wild to me. So I'm extremely thankful to David and Cameron for including me, and it's rewarding to me because I think just being there and feeling like I'm a part of it makes me. It feels like it gives me the creative license to pursue other things that I had not previously thought I could do. In like, I'm not going to go off and become an actor or anything like that, but
Dang it.
it's like it's just really cool to see them working um, at the top of their game, and to to see that makes me feel like, oh, maybe I could try to do something similar, or really creatively pursue something I had not previously considered. And I hope that's something that people can take away from just watching and hearing about how Cameron works and David works, um, and the whole crew was obviously very strong as well.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Uh, and so to hear about how things like this are built and done, because it is inspiring to me.
mhm. Yeah, that's just a good way to put it, man. There's no other way to put it. So, is there like for you personally, I'm not too sure what you do outside of the ginger root world, but is there any projects you're working on?
Um, right now, creatively, uh, so outside of Ginger Root,
Yeah.
I run a fortune cookie factory. It's my job that most people don't believe when I tell them, which is understandable.
I believe
Um,
you.
but but yeah, outside of that, yeah, I wear a lot of hats at my job, and getting to work with getting to work in these music videos feels like I should like try to capture some of that magic and bring that creativity to what I do for my job, which is also lots of fun most of the time. So hoping to do that.
Do you put like any of the messages in the fortune cookie or
I
anything like
do.
that?
Yeah, so I write them. But other people can write them too because we do custom fortune cookies.
Oh, there you go. What's like the craziest fortune cookie message you've ever gotten?
The craziest fortune cookie message. Um, hmm. We almost had, well, it's not crazy, but we almost had a deal with Red Lobster last year, uh, which was for one of their promotional events. So it would have just been really funny to me to have Red Lobster fortune cookies. Um,
Ah, yes. I
and
do
so that
sure
was,
love a fortune cookie with my lobster.
yeah, well, it was, I don't think it was like lobster flavored fortune cookies, which would be an interesting thing in their own right. But certainly, um, that was something fun.
Yeah, that's pretty funny actually. Gosh, I don't even know if they're going out of business or not. I heard a couple of news articles before that they were going out of business, Red Lobster.
Yeah, I heard. I can't remember if it was Red Lobster or Applebee's that got a new CEO that was really young, and they were they were rethinking and restructuring how it works, and it sounded like they were on a good track, but I can't remember
Yeah.
specifically if it was Applebee's. Um, yeah,
Well, that's good. I mean, I
yeah,
don't want like anyone going out of business or anything.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so back to you. Do you like play any, you mentioned that you're not going to be an actor or anything. But do you play like any instruments or anything like that?
Instruments. I grew up learning piano. I'm not
Hmm.
going to say that I play piano. It's been a long time, but
Hmm.
and then I also played. Funny enough, one of my favorite parts of a video that Cameron did was he was like checking in on how the album's going, and it's like this cut to him just like, and then it's like he's playing on the euphonium, and that's another instrument, and I played that instrument growing up in band. So I did marching band.
Oh, that's nice. It's cool. But yeah, Cameron is like the like I always say this. If Cameron was never a musician in an alternate world, never a musician, he would be a comedian. 100%. 100%. Because like
Yeah.
just the way his comedic timing is perfect.
Hmm.
His jokes are amazing. And just the way he like any frame he's in, he could just automatically become a meme. Just straight up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he has that. It's just that really solid timing, and I think that it it's probably he has like lots of good friends around him all the time, which I'm sure helps.
Oh, absolutely. Gosh. So going back to Shimbagumi, besides the chair as a decision making, was there any like last minute changes that happened on set?
Um, yeah, I think there were some changes to sequences. Um, I'm not sure if they wanted to bring them up or not, but I think there were a couple like changes they made. Um, One of them that was cool, that wasn't involving me was Kobayashi, um, or the actor that plays Kobayashi Saki was going to be in Japan at the same time that they were shooting. So they were able to figure it in to the story to have while um, the manager was working all those different jobs. Uh, Kobayashi came over and got to see um, and be in it, which was really cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So, just kind of throwing this question out, when you were on set, were there like any setbacks or anything you had to redo or anything?
No, I think it was just like maybe one or two takes for each scene. The
Okay.
first time I was tied up in the chair, I was too. It would have been really funny if I tied myself up in a chair for this interview, but uh, I was too like crazy and emotive. So I was like, okay, maybe dial it down just like uh, a quarter. And so we just did that and it worked.
That's awesome, dude. I just love the fact that they tied you up a chair.
I think every good like every good show needs that. So happy to be tied up in a chair.
Yeah, exactly. We always, every good show needs someone tied up in a chair. It's just that
Yeah,
easy,
there's like
guys.
there's certain like sequences that you need, um, and somebody being tied up in a chair is one of them.
Absolutely. Now I am gonna turn this into, I'm gonna change the mood here a little bit. All
Oh,
right.
okay, all right,
I'm I'm not mad. I'm just a little disappointed.
okay.
Why did you have to betray Cameron?
That's a good question, but that's a better question for the boss. You
Mm,
see, I was only given orders, and so
sure.
uh,
What was there at least a better like 401k plan, health insurance, something?
uh, you know, it's just one of those things. You got to listen to the boss. You got the call, and he's like, uh, Alex Kuhn. And then
Yeah.
he pointed over at where I needed to go and what I needed to do. And so it's just one of those things you got to do for the job.
Yeah.
I'm glad it worked out though in the end because we were all high fiving.
Yeah, yeah. I gosh, go Cameron's just such a genius for this stuff. When like right at the last moment when he pulled out the VHS tape and just is talking to Nana, it's just like the whole thing was like not even that I mean it was just a setup in a setup because the beginning it was the pitch idea.
Yeah,
So it was just pretty funny just to wrap it all back together again. Gosh. So I guess to wrap this up, this is one question. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Who knows? But who is
interesting.
Loretta?
That's a really fantastic question. Um, but you know, David was
Thank you. That was the response I wanted. Have a good one.